Morning, fish keepers. Cam here from thefishroom.co.nz, and we've done it. We've made it to another Friday, and thank God for that. It's been a terrible week. But coffee makes it better. All right, so I've got a couple of really quick bits of admin to run through, and then we will introduce our special guest that we have today. Just please, again, bear with us with the aquatic plants. We're absolutely coming into, if not, we are already into the worst time of the season with the lack of sun, lack of warmth, and everything. So plants are either coming on and off ridiculously fast from our list and availability, or they're coming in like 1 week this week this big and stuff like that. So please bear with us when it comes to that. We're doing the best that we can. I had 3 things, but I can't remember them all, so I've only written 2 down. The second one is during the week, we obviously had our zebra plecos become available. I said a few weeks back, we've got some pretty exciting fish coming through. They were one of them. If you are interested in plecos, please again stick with us because we've got some other pretty exciting plecos coming through in the next week or so as well. So I like plecos. I'm a fan of them, and I can tell you that the ones that are coming through are a good size, they're good conditioned, and they're beautiful fish. And there's a couple of them that don't come up very often, so they're well and truly worth sticking with them. So there was absolutely something else that I had, but that's all I've got for now. So I'm going to push a couple buttons, and we're going to introduce our guests. So here we go. 1 button, 2 button. Good morning, Rocky. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. We much appreciate you giving up your time. I know it's quite late. We are over there closing on a midnight, so it's really appreciated for you to spend some time with us.
Yeah, so
cool, excellent. So first question I've got, Rocky, is tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how long have you been in the hobby for, and how did you get started?
I've been in the hobby for 31 years.
Mm-hmm.
I got started when I was in foster care, when I was about 8 years old. My foster carer had a fish tank, and then when I was 14, she took me to Jamaica for 2.5 weeks, and I was lucky to go scuba diving on the coral reef. And the obsession never gone away. Me and my missus have been together 22 years, and I think we've had now about total 8 months without a fish tank.
Oh, wow. That's not
I've always
bad.
had a fish tank. So as you know, I've got a little sneaky project going on at the moment, and it's killing me not having a tank in the house that's running.
It's, was your wife Kaz, was she always interested in fish, or is that something that's developed from you through her, or how's
Something
that?
that's developed from me, mate.
well, that's something good.
That's it though, mate. The thing is with it is like, she's learned to love it. We're both joint business partners in Crowder's Aquatics, a specialist aquascaping shop. Obviously, we've recently just put both our businesses together, so it's now Crowder's Aquatics and Pet Supplies. Obviously, with difficult times at the moment, it's something that we had to do. Obviously, I don't know what you're aware of, Cam, with the UK or whatever. I don't know how much John's aware of, how much the industry's struggling at the moment. It is hard, and it's going to get a lot worse over the next 6 months to a year. And a lot of shops have already started to feeling it, and they're closing down left, right, and centre at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, but John knows some of the difficulties we've had, particularly in the last 1.5 years, and we've been battling through it. And we were this close, I'm not going to lie, to closing the doors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Me and my missus Kaz, we don't give up. We're fighters.
Yep.
Rocky for a reason.
Yep. Very cool.
So, but yeah, no, I love the hobby. I used to love the trade. I still love the trade. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, sort of fallen out of love with it the last year. But different story in it, So, but yeah, it's been a great journey so far, and I hope it lasts for another 10, 20, 30, 40 years. I really do. But as I say, it has been hard at the moment, and a lot of people are feeling it.
Yeah. So how long have you been running your fish store business for, and what got you
8
sort
years.
of interested in? Okay, so 8 years, and what got you interested in doing it, or decided to kick you over the edge?
It started off literally on the wall just behind me. Fully licensed, registered business from home. What it was is my local Maidenhead Aquatics basically was selling an old fish system.
Mhm.
You know, like the ones where you got the four tanks, three tanks,
Yes. Yep.
and they got the sump at the bottom. So
Yep.
basically, they were selling one of these normal racks, as I call them, and a retail rack, cheap. So I thought, I'll buy one to have at home, because at the time I was into marine.
Okay.
So I thought, I'll take all the dividers out. I'd have one as a fish-only tank, one as a reef, and then one as for all frags. Then another one come available. So I said to the missus, why don't we buy that one as well? So we bought that one as well, not knowing anything what we were going to do with this second rack. So we just bought it just to have a laugh, mate, just so you could say, I've got a shop system in my house, because how many people can say that?
Fair cool. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's just a cool factor, isn't it? You know. So we bought it, and then we thought, you know what? Why don't we look to see about how you set up a business? So we looked into it, contacted the local council, come out. We had to have the fire brigade out. We had to have, as you see behind me, there's the staircase step. We had to have a sign on that saying "Mind your head," because our plant tank was underneath that.
Wow.
I think I've got a picture of that actually.
Have you? There you go.
I do, yeah. I do.
I got a set of French opening doors to the garden, and I had to have a sign above that fire exit. All right. I was only allowed, because this is like a housing association, I had to have permission off them, and the only reason I got permission is because I got a double driveway, so customers could park on the drive.
Wow.
And I had to have all these safety checks now. And that's what I was saying to you earlier. You know, we've done everything. We did everything above board. A lot of people don't. They just go ahead. They do it. I've seen many people try it and fail.
Yeah.
I think people think it's easy doing a shop, and you know yourself, bills. Like, I don't know what it's like over where you are. Here, for instance, my electric bill monthly now is what it was quarterly. That's how much it's upped here.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie to you. I've had 2 fish orders this year of livestock.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That's
literally,
not-
mate, bank holiday weekend. We were doing neon tetras, £1 a piece, right? Sold 4.
Wow.
What?
That's how quiet it is, mate. Honestly, people don't realise. And the thing is, a lot of these shops are saying they're really busy, or they're making it look like busy on their Facebook. But you talk to reps, you talk to wholesalers, none of them are busy, mate. It's all show. They're all saying they're busy. No one wants to say the truth, because in life, who wants to admit they're quiet? Me, I'm just honest, mate. I'm down to earth, honest, say it is. It gets me in trouble a lot of the time, because I'm one of them people. I say things as it is. But I've got no reason to lie to people. I'm not going to lie to my customers and say to my customers what's not the truth.
Very cool.
What's the point? I'm an honest person. I always have been, always will be. People don't like it. And a lot of people might disagree the fact how quiet it is. But the God honest truth of it all is, why are shops closing down left, right and centre? Last week, one announced in Scotland it was closing down.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it makes sense.
So if it's, I've got a friend who's got a 9,000 square foot shop. I'm not mentioning who it is because that wouldn't be nice. They're at the moment on the brink of having to close theirs down. And we've been trying to help them with like getting pet stuff in to try and help them boost sales to do that. Sorry, my dog's knocking the bloody. Go away, dog.
What do you think's caused such a dramatic downshift?
One, shipping, 100% shipping, because shipping containers used to be £1,000. Now they're £20,000 to rent. Right. So I'm not saying who, because it's not my place to say, but one of the big companies, you know, their product company. For instance, it cost them £18,000 to fill a shipping container full of their stock.
Yep.
Well, if it's costing 20 grand just for the shipping container for the rental, they had to cancel it.
Yeah.
And now, all of a sudden, there's a shortage because you want that particular filter sponge, say, can't get it because they ain't bought it in the country because of the cost.
Yeah.
And where does everything come from? China, Germany, Italy, Poland, Portugal. Leaving the EU's absolutely screwed us, mate.
It has. It's been an absolute disaster for for the industry,
Yes.
not just us, but for many industries.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
Yeah, not just
from my experience, you know, I work with CO2 Art and a few others, and I felt the impact on all the people I'm associated with, even people that are coming from America, or they're all linked through China,
yeah.
one way or another. Whether they need tiny little components to finish their build on their assembly in America or Germany, it's all linked. And
Yeah.
you know, that one component of the entire supply chain, if that gets removed or slowed down, it just grinds everything to a halt. And then with Brexit, the prices just went through the roof for everything. And you know, at one point there was nothing coming into the UK from Europe, like Germany, like the big manufacturers, the JBL, Arca, Awazi. Yeah, there's another one. A lot of them they're getting over it now. Some of them, but most of them, it seems to be the do things forever.
I don't know if you've noticed, like, obviously, but I don't know how many trade lists you get or whatever, but things like some companies have upped their prices fairly. Other companies have upped theirs dramatically, like Awazi Biomaster 600, for instance, went up by £60 within the first 3 months of this year. But yet the likes of Aqua One on their Ocellaris 850 only went up a tenner.
Yeah.
So I can't justify how that would go up by 60 and then another company can do it by a tenner. I just don't get it. I think some people are milking it, mate, and trying to make more money out of this than what's needed to be done. And all I'm seeing at the moment is customers closing tanks. My best mate lives up the road here, mate. He messaged me last night asking me if I want all his cherry shrimp and that lot. He's closing his 2 tanks now. He's probably got the best part of 1,000 cherry shrimp.
Wow.
So he's closing that down. That's just 2 of his tanks. I think he's got 5 tanks running. He's looking at closing them all down, mate. Blackwater tanks, planted tanks, a lot.
Wow.
This is all I'm getting, mate. Literally at the moment, this is all we're getting. It's difficult.
Wow.
One thing, when lockdown first started, fish keeping was a good industry to be in. And
it was
like at that point, everybody put their money into fish tanks.
Because it's
now people can get on holidays. There's no restrictions for holidays. Everybody's just putting everything into holidays, and I think next year you'll see it'll come back.
Pick it back up.
Yeah, but this is going to be a long year.
I think part of it as well is with COVID. I think a lot of people, like me and Kaz, you know, we hold our hands up to this. You realise where you can save money. Hence why we've put both businesses together now.
Makes sense.
Because it makes sense, mate. I'm saving just on bills £18 a year.
Yep.
18 grand better in my pocket to put into stock into the shop.
Big chunk of change.
Do you know what I mean? Well, it is, isn't it? You know what it's like in business, mate. You've got to try and save money where you can, you know. I've got £30,000 worth of fish racks in storage at the moment. I've got 1 rack running in the shop.
Yep.
I've got other shops I know that are closing fish systems down left, right and centre because it's costing too much, because they're not getting enough footfall business to cover the cost of having that quantity of fish.
Yeah, I never realised that the industry over there was in such a mess, or such a dire time at the moment. Again, like you said, follow a few different business Facebook pages and stuff like that, and they're always showing all these things they've got going on. I wasn't aware that it was so quiet and so such an issues over there. Like, yeah, wow.
The thing is with it, mate, is I can't speak for everyone.
Yeah.
Right? I know a few shops are still busy, but they're shops that have been around for 20 or 30 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But I can say the majority of shops, a lot of shops will say they're busy. Now, I've had reps in the shop, mate. I've got, when I speak to wholesalers who say they're absolutely dead, they're ringing round shops. Here's one for you. I'll name this one because I don't care. I had Tropica ring me the other week. Yeah, Tropica. Biggest plant manufacturing company in the world, probably.
Yeah, easy.
Up last week. Was it last week, week before, asking if we wanted plants? We're like, no, because it's absolutely dead. And they're like, oh, we're finding this everywhere. Everyone they're ringing up and down the country, all saying they're dead.
Wow.
So it's not just me. I don't care if other shops might turn around to you and say, oh yeah, we're really busy, we are. Chatting rubbish, mate, because no one is.
Wow.
Even a certain I don't want to say the name because it's not fair to say the name, but John will probably know who I'm talking about when I say this, but it's probably the biggest online aquatic sales business that has a shop also. Probably know who I mean.
Yeah.
They're struggling at the moment and all.
Wow. Interesting. Wow.
So it's mad, mate.
It just feels like we're sinking into the abyss.
Yeah, it does. It does, and it's heartbreaking. Like, you know, I've also had issues with my water coming into my building since, and which is why I've got so many systems in storage and that lot, and I've got a new system from America. I'm the only one in the UK to have it. I've used it for 2 months.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. It really is. But me and Kaz are fighters, mate. We've pushed through it all, and I'll continue to push through this. It's one of them, mate. This will sort the boys out from the men, so they say as a figure of speech. The ones that want it will continue to fight through. The ones that don't want it and have lost all heart will be the ones, you know, they won't get anywhere.
This is something I've been saying since I got involved in my way anyway. That in order to survive, because a lot of shops were against Facebook and against the internet, and you can't get away from it. It's there, and if you don't bring it into your business, it'll crush your business.
Free.
So the people that survived and adapted to that are the old school businessmen that took the time, worked out how they could benefit from it, and put it in it, and they'll survive because they're the guys. They know how to survive.
They laughed at us when we set Crowders Aquatics up. Yeah, they laughed at us. They said to us, our friends and family, said we wouldn't last 6 months, right? And when we first started, obviously we got hosts. When we've moved into a physical shop in 2015, January 2015. Obviously, we opened trade accounts, and with those accounts, you join Facebook groups, etc. And they all laughed at us for having our Facebook page.
Wow.
Where are we now? We're a multi-award-winning shop.
Exactly.
Wow.
Through Practical Fish Keeper magazine.
Yeah. Cool.
And they're my biggest achievements. I absolutely dote on them. It sounds silly, but to me, they are my biggest achievements of my life.
Well done.
And a lot of
there's thousands of shops going for that award, and to get even listed as one of the top ones is an achievement. But to get the top
3 years in a row, top 40 of best aquatic stores in the UK and Ireland.
Yeah.
Well done. Wow.
For a small little shop like us, mate, it was absolutely phenomenal. For the last 2 years, obviously they've not done it. They're doing it this year, and do you know what? I don't even care if I win anything this year. I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered, mate. What I'm bothered about is I want the industry to get better. I don't want. I want the younger generation. I've just given my son and his girlfriend, obviously my grandson. I've just given them a fish tank. I've just given them one of the Oazi style lines. So they're going to have their first fish tanks. I want my grandson to grow up in the hobby.
Yeah, you want the hobby to be there for him to grow up in.
Yeah, and I think it's important to try and get that next, those your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids, whatever it is, that next generation into the hobby. And I don't know how you two feel about it. One thing I personally got to say, livestock, I think in freshwater is far too cheap. When you compare to marine, when someone goes and spends 80, 100, 200 pound on a fish, they will do what they have to do to keep that fish alive.
Yeah.
As a neon tetra for a £2, or a platy at £1.50, £2, whatever, it's disposable.
Yeah.
Fish for a £5, disposable.
Yeah, that's something I have a bit of issue with as well. As far as I'm concerned, this is a living animal, and this is a living animal. This might cost you $300. This might cost you $2. They're still live, and you've still have, and you're right. They'll often seem as consumable and disposable, which is something that does frustrate me a little bit as well. I do absolutely hear what you're saying there. Yeah,
I think there needs to be, and from saying that from a shop point of view, I'm not saying we still buy them cheap or whatever, and we sell them on or whatever. If the price was to go, the price was to go up, whatever. But
it is what it is.
My point is like, I don't do goldfish, never have done, never will do. Don't agree they should be kept in aquariums, kept in pond only. Simple. So that's why we sell betters, because I think betters are a much better option, excuse the pun, for kids. Bright, colourful. Yes, they last 2, 3, maybe 4 years.
Yeah, my daughter's one died yesterday, so I'm on the lookout.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it was one of them.
Honestly, it's such an easy fish to look after. We always say 20 litres minimum. I won't sell one under 20 litre tank.
Yep.
So some people will sell them with 5 litre tanks. I won't sell it unless you've got a 20 litre tank.
That's cool.
So,
quality of life for the animals that you're providing for is essential.
100%. And the thing is, mine and Kaz, it's not just me, it's the wife as well. Our thing's always been, if it's not good enough quality to be kept in one of my tanks in my house, it ain't good enough to sell.
So that's a fair thing to stand behind.
It's true though, isn't it? At the end of the day, when you're an independent business, it's your name above the door. That is your reputation. You want the best quality livestock you can get, which is why I only use 2 wholesalers, and one of them ain't even in the UK, and that's my main wholesaler.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Because I don't like the UK wholesalers.
Fair. Just heading back towards your shop a little bit. Obviously, I've been following you for a little while now, and I've always been very impressed with the amount of botanicals, and in particular, it seems like recently you've even upped that game with your botanicals. Is it quite normal for like European stores to have that amount of botanicals, or is that just something that you're really, really passionate about and you want to have it on hand?
This is a different story altogether, mate. Personally, I've been into blackwater aquariums for many years. I've had an obsession with the Amazon River for many years. And it's always been hard to find stuff, hasn't it? So it took me 5 years to find my main supplier. So I go direct to Sri Lanka. And if you want the details, I can always pass you the details over. You're no competition to me.
Unfortunately, our biosecurity is so strict here. We struggle with all that kind of stuff. Tarpa leaves, older cones, driftwood is pretty much all we can do, give or take.
Really?
Yeah, there's nothing. No pods, no nothing. No bark. We can find a lot of stuff. We just can't get it here to sell it.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is a shame. Right up there, mate. I could have hooked you right up. Anyway, when I put an order in, it has to go through the government. They have to get a phytosanitary certificate for the guys to go out to the forest and hand pick everything. Can't get any more natural than that.
Wow.
I used to get laughed at for having blackwater tanks because they're dirty, they're orange, they're brown, they look mucky. And then obviously another company came out with botanicals, who buys them off of another company, etc. And all of a sudden, the next best thing since sliced bread. But my botanicals, even though they're 100% natural, picked off the floor, all go through the legal thing. I'm not buying off another company. I am going direct to source. Hence why I buy in quantity. Just for instance, it costs just for a 25 kilo box of my products when I buy them. Just the postage on its own before the product is £350 just for postage.
Wow.
But that's going to go up now because of the current prices. So I'm actually not sure what it's going to be now, but it was £350 for a 25 kilo box. That's before you put anything on the order.
Yeah, wow.
So it's a passion of mine, mate. It's something that I've been very passionate about. And it took, as I said, it took me 5 years to find my supplier. And yeah, I've always, whenever I personally do a tank, I always know what fish are going in that tank before I even do anything with it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So I've got a list, like I showed you earlier, my new project. List is up here, what's going in there already.
Some people go, they get an idea of a type of wood and they build the tank around that wood, or they've got, they want to try a certain type of hardscape. But then, like yourself, you pick a fish and you build the entire biotope around that fish, or biotope style, or whatever you want to do. So
this is one of the reasons why, obviously, again, the large selection of wood we have, right? One of my things was, before we had the business, I think we've all been here, you know, some people maybe not because they're better off than others, whatever. But I think we've all been to a shop, got a piece of wood, gone up to the counter, they've weighed it, you got 20 quid in your pocket, it's 56 quid.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, mate, I've got to put that back. Very daunting. So the reason we've got a large selection is because I would say 9.9%, no, but 99.9% of the time, you will find what you're looking for. But every single piece is priced up. It's all got a label. So if you've got 2 quid, you'll find a piece for 2 quid. If you've got 250 quid, you will find a piece for 250 quid.
Yeah, I have.
You do one thing I've noticed on your website as well. You do like lucky bags or like mystery bags. Is that right?
Oh, the mystery boxes for the botanicals. Yeah. Well, we just shut our website down because obviously we've rebranded we've renamed it, haven't we? So a new website is something that we will be working back on to get the website back up again. Because I really want to focus on the botanical side of things a lot more.
Yeah.
In fact, I had even thought about setting up a new business just for the botanical side of it.
Wow.
It's something that I have been looking at because I've got shops that's wanting it as well. And obviously I want to get a name for myself before I do anything.
I know a few people that will be rubbed up. It would be a bit uncomfortable with your own botanical business.
Well, I know. Do I look like a care, mate? At the end of the day, business is business, right? You look at McDonald's, you look at Burger King, you look at all these takeaway companies like that, KFC and all that. Like, do they worry about each other? No, they don't.
No.
Business is business, mate. People will go who they want to go to. Yep. Other people go to the competitor because they know the products are from a bigger named American company. That's all it's over. That's all it is.
They want that brand to show. Yeah,
it's a bit like, do you buy a Ford Mondeo or do you buy a Jaguar? They've both got the same chassis, but you're going to buy a Jaguar because it sounds better.
Yeah,
in fact, they're all the same. Like my leaves and that. Yes, some of them have holes in, mate. They're picked off a rainforest floor. Yeah, they're natural.
Yeah.
You can't.
It is what it is.
Natural.
Yeah. It's not mass produced in factory.
Just because they don't come with a fancy bag doesn't mean they're any less. Exactly. I don't
fancy bag, mate. We put all ours in paper bags.
Yeah.
I try and keep plastic to a minimal in the shop.
Yeah.
You know, we were considering at one point even doing. We spoke to Dr. David Paul about doing this a few years back, but obviously COVID hit, so we never got around to doing it. One thing we were looking at doing was with fish science. If you bring your tub back, we would do a 10% discount for refilling that tub up.
Yeah.
That was something we were looking at doing, but obviously with COVID and everything, it's
one of the, I spoke to Dave so many times about that. I think the biggest challenge with that is dampness.
Right.
But
it isn't, because if a shop's got it in the big shop use containers, you're just there bringing their tub back in, you're filling the tub up, so it's not going to get damp, is it?
Yeah, it's just funny you say that because
okay, but flake would be a bit tricky. But
every time I go to the supermarket and fill up my little bags of like nuts or seeds or whatever, I think the same thing. How can I adapt this to fish food? How can this system be, again, bring your container in, fill it up, and it's cheaper and less junk gets thrown into the bins basically.
But it also gets people coming back to your shop because they're talking. You're doing whatever you can to be eco-friendly. Like we use plastic bags to put people's stuff in, right? But they are recycled, reusable bags. Sort of, do you know what I mean? They've been recycled. Because you can't go giving someone fish in a paper bag and then expect to walk out with that in a paper bag when it's raining. Yeah,
paper and water don't mix very well.
We do have paper bags as well with handles, don't get me wrong, for like summertime, but if it's raining, it's no good.
Yeah.
Because all our fish, when we bag them up, obviously go in a plastic fish bag because that's what they have to go in, and then we put a brown paper bag over them, taped, so it keeps them nice and cool. Nice and sort of like dark and that for when they're transport. It just keeps them cooler, doesn't it? Keeps them chilled out more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but always trying to think of ways to improve. It's not easy because the one thing that surprises me is the amount of plastics used in the aquatic trade. And what's the biggest thing we all moan about is plastic in rivers and the sea.
I absolutely hear what you're saying, 100%. Just sort of touching back before, you were saying you haven't sold a lot of plants of late. That sort of triggered one of my thoughts on one of the questions I was going to ask you. Is obviously aquascaping is becoming, or has become, quite a large thing within the industry. And I've seen your plant holding tank, or whatever it is you want to call it, which is very impressive.
Greenhouse.
Yeah, the greenhouse. Yep, it's very, very impressive. I semi-modeled what I do on that because I thought how impressive it was and how logical it is.
Yeah.
Do you think like the aquascaping side of the industry is benefiting the hobby or not benefiting the hobby?
I've been careful what I say here, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Right, aquascaping. Tell me the definition of aquascaping.
My definition or the written one according to the dictionary, which I would have to Google?
Just any definition, mate, because everyone has a different term of aquascaping.
Yeah.
You know, so some people in the industry and the hobby will turn around and say you can only scape a rimless, braceless tank.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be opti-white. You have to use this. You have to use that.
Yeah.
Mate, you could use a Ferrero Rocher pot if you wanted to and scape it.
I've seen that done.
And,
yeah.
And this is what irritates me with people, because it always comes down to lighting. It comes down to money. I'm not being funny. You know as well as I do, mate. You can go, I hate to say this, but for lighting for aquarium, if you're on a really tight budget, you can't afford a light like we would selling at a shop. You know, we sell budget ranges. We can go high end if you really want us to, you know. But you could go online, you could buy an LED security light that goes in your garden, 6,500 Kelvin. When I started Crowders Aquatics, I had 2 of them running on my plant tank.
Yep. Yep.
Work an absolute treat, mate. And I've actually been thinking on the new project to possibly use some of them on that.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because they're a great way of saving money, but you don't have to use an £800 light. You don't have to use a £600 light. You know, I've just had a customer last year, and if he was here now, he's my longest customer. Yeah, Martin, his name is. And if he was here now, he would tell you exactly the same. He took his twin stars off his tank last year and put 2 of the new, you've seen the new Aqua One strip lights. John?
No, I've not seen them yet.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
They got these new lights, and they got like I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head now. I'm on the spot here, aren't I? But they got a touch-sensitive pad on. They got 3 different modes on them.
Right.
Well, and a 4-foot one of them, off the top of my head, I think it's £120. Right. So he's put some of them on his tank. Took the twin stars off. It cost him 600 quid. He bought them off me from the shop. Right. And he's put these Aqua One ones on, mate, and he's got much better growth.
Wow.
Do you know? It's crazy, mate. It's crazy. But yeah, aquascaping's got a lot bigger in the country, and it is down to certain people, certain aquascapers, and shops. The thing that I do find, and I think John will agree with me here, certain aquascaping shops in the UK get a lot more attention than others because they've got certain people backing them,
Yes.
advertising them all the time, promoting them all the time. And then when they come out to your shops, they always bang on about those particular shops, which it disheartens you as a business when you've worked your backside off for your business and they're stood there and they're telling your customers to go to this other shop to buy products when you've paid them to come to your shop to do a display tank. So I've had a very difficult time with the aquascaping side of things, I will be honest. I feel that I don't get taken serious, even though we've got one of the largest selections of wood, botanicals and that in the UK, I think me and Kaz have put a lot of time and effort into the business. Yes, we don't have a fancy showroom full of tanks and that lot, but I don't believe you have to. It is nice to have that, but that's a European thing.
That is. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have the gallery or the studio. That's a separate thing from the shop. That's an attraction.
Yeah, it is. It is. And
I've always viewed your shop as a biotope specialist shop.
Yeah.
Although I've never managed to get down that far yet, but you don't need that.
No, you don't. And the thing is, in my eyes, when you've got all that space like that, yes, they look pretty. Oh man, some of these shops, I look at their display tanks, I think, mate, that is phenomenal. I think they look lovely. But I think to myself, what a waste of space. As a businessman, I look at it, as you probably could as well yourself, Cam, and think, oh, I could have a new range of gravels there, or I could have some more wood there, or I could have this there instead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I understand. Yep.
So
Totally understand that.
it's a difficult one because, as I say, everyone has different analogies or whatever the word is of aquascaping. You know, some of the world's best aquascapers started off with tiny little 50-litre Aqua One tanks. I think it was Stefan Pratt over in Germany. He commented on one of my posts of an Aqua One tank we put up. He said, that's the tank I started scaping with.
Wow. Yep.
And that was the one before it had LEDs. That was when it had the tubes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, it's nice when you get people like that comment on your posts because it makes it feel like they're watching you and you're doing something right.
Yeah, it just makes you feel part of the flow of things. Do you think if we go back to like the whole gallery thing, do you think it's purely the community that drives the need for that, or do you think that's like an industry trophy room, so to speak?
I personally think it's because one shop in particular, you know who done it. I suppose it doesn't matter even if I mention their name. Actually, I don't mind plugging them because they're a good shop, you know, Aquarium Gardens, and they're a phenomenal shop. And I think the tanks are amazing, and I think they were the first one to do the gallery, and other shops have since followed them. And I take my hat off to them. They've done it. They've got the space for it, and people obviously go in there. They look at them. They get ideas from it, and I agree with it. You know. It's down to everyone to do their own individual thing. I would love to have more display tanks and stuff like that. At the moment, obviously, we haven't got any because of the water problem we had.
Yeah.
And it's something I will set up one, but I think if I'm going to set another one up, it won't be a planted tank. I think I will do a biotope.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I'll do a biotope.
That I think would fit well within what it is that you stock and specialise on it and carry it. It would well and truly fit within that realm.
The UK doesn't have a biotope specific shop.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
There's one in Spain, which I'm going to be going seeing, and then I'll talk to you soon about that, Cam. But yeah, Little Tree Design. I don't know if you're familiar with them. No, Ivan McColsey done a lot of work with them. They set up that huge big tank. They're in Alicante in Spain, actually. But they're a biotope design shop.
Wow.
And they just focus on awesome looking, ugly, dirty, beautiful tanks.
Yeah. My cup of tea.
Yeah.
Same. Right in that wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you go with it. If I were you, I would niche into that whole biotope because that's the next thing to really kind of people that have thought aquascaping's amazing. They try it and it's hard. It's not everybody can do what they see.
Easy, mate.
No, but then people that have still got that passion for getting in there and creating fall into the biotope, and it's a different discipline because you're restricting yourself down and you're recreating something beautiful.
See, now you've had marine, haven't you?
Yeah.
What do you think's easier?
Honestly, marine.
Exactly what I was going to say, mate.
Yeah.
A lot of people are frightened to go marine. I personally think if you can master a fully planted tank, with CO2 and all that, like, you know, a high-tech tank, I think you'll be able to do an SPS tank easy.
Oh, easy, without a doubt.
I've said that to people many times as well. Same thing. If you can do that, you can do that. No dramas. Just apply the same principles, same logics behind it.
Softies LPS is easy to do on a marine anyway. It's just getting your salt levels and stuff, isn't it? You know, it's just understanding your levels. You know, that's the thing with it, and it's easy enough. I think it's a lot easier than a freshwater. You know,
you get to a point where it gets boring because you can't. It's not so easy to get in and change things around.
Well, that's why I got rid of my 850-litre marine tank. I just got bored of it.
Yeah,
it's just a pile of rock with some colourful bits.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
You mentioned before, like the galleries and the European shops and stuff like that, which I agree with you. I believe it's very much a European style store and a European style of probably fish keeping as well to an extent. I think the European style is probably world leading as far as how people keep aquariums and aquarium stores.
100%.
Are you seeing any other influence from around the world come through with what people are asking for, what people are keeping? So I know New Zealand is very, very much influenced by a lot of the American style and stuff like that. Are you seeing anything?
I was just going to say, like, coming back to the biotopes. Biotopes is getting more and more bigger over here, which is more and more mainly American side of things, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The sort of biotopes, I would say. You've got a few places in Europe that are biotopes, but there's not many places that, like John was saying, there's not many places really that do it. A lot of my customers for botanicals and that lot is purely because they can't get the stuff anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to slate anyone off because that's not me. But other places, if they do have product, they don't have a lot of the product. Where I buy direct from source, I have to buy in quantity.
Yeah.
You know, yes, it's expensive, but it's worth it because look at what we've got.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't go buying 10 packs of 12 leaves. I buy a kilo of leaves, which is like 2,500-3,000 leaves.
Yeah, we're working at wholesale quantities.
This is the thing, you know, I'm buying in bulk, mate. My spare room above my head is my stock room.
Oh.
Because where we've just put both shops together, my stock room at the shop is now part of the shop, which has got all our wood and botanicals in.
Right. Yeah. I've seen that come up just recently, or about a month ago.
I put a video up the other day. It's looking good.
Yeah.
I did some DIY. Did you see the angled shelf? I built that.
Congratulations.
And it's still standing. I don't do DIY, mate.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think there's different things coming through. Like, I think another thing that you might see a bit more of coming through, if I'm honest, is I don't comment on Facebook groups, but I do have a little scout every now and then. And something I've noticed is a few people doing, is it like macroalgae?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Macroalgae seems to be something.
Planted reef tanks.
It keeps popping up. I keep seeing a few bits pop up. Like, I don't really look on them much anymore, but I've seen a few people talking about it and seen a few people doing them.
Yeah. There was a guy that's been selling them for a long time in the UK, just one guy. He's been selling them on eBay for a long time, and I tried my hand at it, but I just couldn't have any luck. My fish just kept eating them. But there's a few other people that I've noticed now. His name slipped my head, but you know what I'm talking about. He's just set one up, and it's in a shallow tank.
Okay.
I can't remember now.
Yeah, you know when you figure it out.
But I don't know what you're saying. You get reds and greens just like plants, but they're so delicate looking.
Oranges as well, aren't they?
And the purple one as well, actually.
They look quite tasty. Makes me want to try something. I like trying a challenge, mate, which is part of the reason I'm doing the new project. But because I'm always trying to. The whole idea, by the way, of the new project is something that I want to incorporate in the shop at a later date. You see,
right?
I'm not going to do something in the shop I don't feel comfortable and I don't know enough about.
Mm-hmm.
Poison dart frogs is something that I want to bring into the shop.
Yes,
you know? I want to bring some paludariums. I want to do some bits like that, you know, and I want to learn about these things.
Yeah, what better place to learn than at home?
Yeah, yep.
This is it, you know. I might even buy a little paludarium for in here somewhere, or I might even see about putting one at the counter of the shop with some frogs.
Yeah,
you know,
I've got I'm just looking at the side of my screen there. I've got one of those Exoterra paludarium. You know, one opens, it's kind of half full and half planted, and it's literally just got some stuff that was lying around, and it just threw it in, and I'm just seeing what happens with it. But I've not got any livestock in it yet, so I can't make my mind up.
I don't know about cat, but my eye keeps getting attracted to that zebraplex.
What's it, right?
The zebraplex.
Oh yeah. Oh, Cam just has zebraplex, didn't he?
He's got it on he got a top. You got one behind your shoulder on the tank there.
Yeah, Cam
we had some in early this week, and they went out the door to a very happy very happy customer. So yeah, beautiful fish.
How much are they over there?
Between $400 and $500 each.
I don't know what that is in our money.
I don't know. I've seen them on Pier Aquatics for £85 each last night.
Yeah, do you know why though, mate? The man's a multi-millionaire, isn't he? He's got people fishing all over the world for him.
I know.
That
I was quite surprised when I seen them. I'm going there. That's on my list for this summer.
That's on
I
my
need to get down there.
Some more. I've been obviously looking at a lot of the things you post, and there's quite a common theme that comes through. Is it, and you've basically just said it before, if it doesn't kind of reach your standard, or if it doesn't reach a point that you're kind of happy with and confident with, you don't sort of stock it. And like, there's a couple brands in particular that I see that you stock that we don't have, like Tropica and Fang, for example. And it looks like they're all about the quality over more of the pushing up quantity. Is there any other companies you see doing that around or coming through?
Right, let me. I've had some companies in the past, right? JBL.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I had a legal battle with Made in Aquatics because I put a big order in, and they held the order back because Made in had kicked off. Right, so they held my order back, even though I'd paid for it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd already paid for this order, but held back for over 2 weeks. Right. So yeah, that was thingy. So I had that for a year, and my I don't know if my first order was quite a substantial order with JBL, and we did more than what our closest JBL stockist, shall we say, did in the whole year we did in our first order with JBL. But yet that particular shop complained and I had to go to a legal thing anyway. So anyway, I had JBL for a year and I got rid of it because in my opinion, if a shop doesn't back you, if a company doesn't back you, why should you back that product and make them money?
Fickle.
You know? So Fang is fantastic. And again, if you're interested in that, I can give you contact details. Out of the way, dog. Fang is absolutely amazing, mate. You've heard of Rapashi?
Yes, yep. One of my probably biggest sellers. Yep.
Well, you've heard of Rapashi. Well, I can guarantee you right this minute that this is better than Rapashi. And why can I guarantee it? Because the creator of Rapashi is the owner of Fang.
Wow. Okay.
So he knows. So he knows the ingredients that goes into Rapashi because he designed it. So,
yeah.
And Brent is an amazing bloke. In fact, he's offered me and Kaz to go out there on holiday to go to his facility, which is the biggest facility in the world of its kind, out in Hawaii, in Iowa. I think I've said that right, in America. And something we are going to probably take up at some point. But Fang, each individual one is made around the specific fish it's for. And it is only the finest ingredients used. It is the best ingredients money can buy is used in Fang. And it is literally so easy to make. I've got a YouTube video I've done of it. I'm not very good on camera. I hate being on camera.
You're doing well tonight.
So that's why my videos don't have me on camera, but the Fang one's got me on camera. And I wanted to show people how easy it was. And literally, like, the one bag makes so much food. Value for money wise, mate, it is brilliant. Nutritional value, it is amazing. Like, fair play, when you first use it, like any food, doesn't matter what food you go for, to start off with, not every fish is going to go straight on it.
Correct.
But I would say 90% of fish that we've tried on Fang to start off with went straight on it. They do the Fang feeders. They do obviously the jerk. You can have it so just plonk it in the water so it sinks to the bottom. It is our favourite product. I don't know if you can tell. We were the first shop in the world to have it.
Wow.
So that's a big statement. We knew ages before it was coming out about it, and we were so excited because it's exciting when you get a new product, mate. Because what new in this industry ever comes out? Nothing new. Nothing. Unless a filter's a filter.
Yep.
You could say food is food, but it's not, because Fang is a gel food. It's not a flake. It's not a pellet. It's not a granule. You make it. You can put it in the fridge for up to 2 weeks.
Yep.
So it's brilliant.
Have you fed it to ember tetras? And if you have, do they accept it easily? Because I've always found embers don't like Rapashi.
I have fed it to some of the fussiest fish, mate. My son had chameleon whiptails at home, right?
Wow.
And when it first come out, we had them on it.
Yeah.
Right. I have got, what have I got at the moment? I've got some. I'm trying to think what I've got at the shop at the moment. I've got red lizard whiptails. More than happy to. In fact, I've got a video on my phone I've got to put up actually of a blue neon goby eating it.
Cool.
So I've not found a fish yet that doesn't eat it, to be honest with you.
Fantastic.
The Plek one, I will admit, the Plek one they got out at the moment, they are going to be discontinuing that one because they are bringing, I think it's 2 other Plek ones out. So herbivore, carnivore.
Yep.
Because at the moment, the Plek one they have got is an all-round Plek one. So
right, so it's separating it through.
They're redoing that.
Cool.
We've said to them about it, so they are redoing it. Brent is a brilliant bloke. He listens. There's more in the pipeline. There's lots more in the pipeline coming out.
Yeah.
Again, if you want details, I can pass some details on to you.
Cool. Have you? I know here at least, I feel like there's a bit of a mindset shift. Have you noticed there's more of a quality aspect to keeping fish and more of the well-being of the animals as opposed to, get a goldfish from a fair in a plastic bag type of mindset? Or is it very much shops are there to make $1 at any expense, selling anything that'll make the money? What's it like over there?
It's a weird one, mate, because I think John will agree with me here. Some people don't mind spending money, do they? Personally, in my opinion, if you see something you like, the price isn't really an issue, is it? Because you like it, you want it, you buy it. And then you get other people, I ain't paying that for that. Which goes back to what I was saying about earlier. When you look at marine fish for 40, 50, 100, 200 quid, you're going to do what it takes to look after that fish.
Yeah.
But you go into a shop and you see a lemon tetra for £2.50. Yeah. It dies. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're not. Then people are. Some people who are really into fish keeping will do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Other people just have it, I think, because they think it's a fashion statement.
Yeah, fair, cool. Yep.
I really do. And it goes with the aquascaping as well. I think a lot of people feel pressured when it comes to aquascaping because they see the likes of these aquascapers doing these amazing tanks and nothing goes wrong with them because they, some of them now show videos of what's going wrong and that lot. But that's only been a recent thing, isn't it?
Yeah, in the last maybe 6 months.
But a lot of the time, people always hide the issues. They always have. And I think people feel pressure. I know for a fact I've got customers that felt the pressure. Mm-hmm. I've got green hair algae. I've got black beard algae. What do I do? I can't put pictures of my tank up, blah, blah, blah. And they feel pressure. Such and such's tank's never like that. Yes, it is like that. They just decide not to show you it.
Yeah.
So I think there is a lot of pressure goes on in the aquatic hobby on the aquascaping side of things.
Instagram life.
This is it, mate.
Everything's always perfect on that side of the phone.
That's it. Yeah. And I think more of the wrong side of the hobby, like things going wrong, needs to be shown.
Great.
I think it's this is the thing. Like my thing with my business, is me and Kaz have always been. It's good to take the good. So yes, we won awards X amount of years in a row. But I'm always asking customers, have you any negativity to say? Because without the negativity, how can I improve my business?
Yeah. Well, that's something that we talk about when it comes to reviews, isn't it, Cam?
Correct.
We always point out, it's great to get positive reviews, but, a review, bad one's more valuable than a good one.
100% more valuable, mate. 100%.
It's an opportunity to learn, to improve, to show people that your ego doesn't get in the way of providing.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not being funny, but we all love taking praise.
Of course.
But we don't. But people don't like negativity, do they? But I love negativity when it comes to my business, because when you get the negativity, then mate, you then know where you're going wrong. You can improve that.
Potentially pick trends up.
It's like every now and then you might see, Cam and John, I put a post up on Crowders Aquatics. Is there any product ranges people would like to see us stock in our shop to improve the business? And a lot of the time, people don't comment on it. And that really bugs me, because the amount of followers we got on the page, and I want people to interact. I want people to be able to turn around to me and say, because if one person said, oh yeah, I'd like to see you stock fluval, ain't worth me stocking. If 10 people told me that I need to stock it, I would see about stocking it.
Yeah,
100%,
totally understand.
mate. Without customers, because as a business, we're busy. Yeah, you're busy doing what you're doing. We're busy doing tank maintenance. We're busy doing paperwork. We're busy doing this. We're busy doing that. We can't always have time to look around for new products. So if customers come to you and say, oh, have you seen this amazing range, this Italian range, you know, like Sici, for instance, just off the top of my head, because I was watching a video on that, I just popped in the head. But if customers come to me and say, oh, have you seen this amazing quality range, is it something you'd be interested in stocking? I would have a look.
Yep. Yeah.
I think customers' feedback is always most important, because
Absolutely.
it allows you to evolve your business.
See that?
You know. Ah, there you go.
That's one of the best products Sichi's ever done. It's just a box.
I don't.
I use it every day.
I don't think that we have that product range here in New Zealand. I think I might have seen it pop up once or twice.
It's fluval, isn't it?
Made by, but not the actual brand itself hanging around anywhere.
It's a good range. Sitch is a good range. They've just brought out some new filters at Interzoo the other day, haven't they?
Yeah.
Did you see them, John? Those new magnetic filters?
No, but I learnt about them during the end of last year, because I was talking to the rep, and he was telling me that he was showing me. So yeah,
because we don't do marine, they don't come to our shop.
Yeah. I just learned. I've got an old Seachem hang on the back filter, a hob filter, and they're made by Sichi.
That's where I've seen it. Yeah.
1 second.
I love a hang on the back filter. So old school, but works brilliant.
Oh, they work really well.
There it is.
Yeah, I was actually gonna kit my shop out with it, but because the water here was so average, it needed to be pre-filled. It just made no logical sense to do it that way, unfortunately. So, but they were well and truly on the list of let's have a wee look at this filtration system to do everything.
Well, my systems are now all individual tanks.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. Yeah, titles. Yeah, that'll be where I saw that brand on the titles.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, all my rack that I've got in the shop. Well, I've got 3 racks in total, but I've got 1 running in the shop. I had them custom built last year, and they're all individual tanks, so they've all got their own air sponge filter, so everything's quarantined.
Nice.
That's something I've been wanting to do from day one. So all my fish are quarantined.
Yeah, that's what we do as well. Yeah, we hold everything back for at least a couple of weeks, make sure everything's good to go, healthy eating, and looking the way they should before they get moved forward. And that's partly to protect myself as well as everybody else.
This is one thing that gets me in the UK. Like don't get me wrong, we can only quarantine fish and that as long as we can do it, because we haven't got the space to do it, have we?
Yeah.
Right.
Fish tanks take a lot of room.
Well, a lot of people say, oh, we've quarantined our fish, blah, blah, blah. But what a lot of people don't realise is to actually quarantine fish properly, you need to quarantine it for 6 months. Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah.
And it's difficult
a long time.
Because you think you'd need a warehouse, mate, just for a rack of neons with dates on when they're ready to go, wouldn't you?
To make sure everything's rotating at the right times.
We have to do the best that we can do. That's all
agreed.
we can ever do. You know.
Yeah.
And it's one of them. And those that actually care about what they sell will take that time and effort. Those that don't, I know many shops. I've been to a friend's shop. I'm not mentioning. They got fish in. While I was there, got delivered. Bags bobbing in the tank. Customer comes in. Sold.
Right.
I would never do that.
Yep.
Never. Not worth the risk, mate. Not with my name above the door, it ain't.
Yeah,
It's something you used to see quite a lot up here a while back.
Yeah.
In the front of the shop, bags floating, but now you don't see that. It's all done through the back, or they're doing it when the shop's shut. But yeah, like you said, you've just got to do the best that you can do.
Yeah, this
And
is it.
you don't. I wouldn't say, you don't sell anything that you're not comfortable putting in your own aquarium.
No. And it's the quality of the fish, like chemicals. I've always been more than happy to show my customers the chemicals and the foods that I feed and treat my fish with. You know, I personally use water life treatments. The funny thing is, I've used water life treatments for years, but I've only stocked water life treatments for about 4 years now.
Right.
Even though I've been in business for 8, why
Yep.
didn't I stock them from day one? I do not know.
Brilliant
I went to a trade show, saw them there. We're like, hang on a minute, I've used this range probably for over 12, 15 years, but I haven't got it in the shop. Why have I not got it in the shop? Went to them, put an order in, stocked it since.
There you go. Yep.
And they're brilliant because they have their own chemist. So if a customer has issues, they can ring the chemist up,
Yeah.
make a little farm, ring them up and say, look, I've got this issue with my fish, and they will tell them to use this, this, and this. Go to your local shop and buy this and this. So it's brilliant,
cool.
mate. It's worked well for us, that has.
Talking about trade shows kind of segues a little bit into my last sort of structured question that I've got for you. I don't want to fire you up too much if possible, but do you think that manufacturers having and suppliers having direct contact with hobbyists is a good thing in the industry, or should it be left purely to the shops that are doing the selling?
See, now this is where we all have different opinions.
Yeah.
All right. There's a few things that do my nutting. One is
Be
when you
careful.
go to there's one
I
when
did
you go
premise
to
this, but I didn't want to wind you up too much.
No, that's not winding me up. I'm being honest. This is what we're here for. We're here for honest opinions, right?
Yeah.
Trade shows. Went to the last one last year, right? You didn't go to that, did you, John?
No. Telford.
Didn't waste your time. Didn't waste your time.
You told me not to waste my time.
You definitely would have wasted your time if you went to the last one. There was only 50 stalls there, mate.
Yeah, I did hear. I was at the one prior to that at the wholesalers.
That was good.
I chose that one.
But yeah, the trade shows I think are a phenomenal idea, mate, for launching when new products and that's coming out. I think it's a brilliant idea. Gets all the shops together. You can have a good chin wag. You can tell whose head stuck up each other's bottoms, and that quite well. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What bugs me is you're walking around and you see members of the public around there. Like we went to the one Telford, and the local university was walking around, but yet the stands were giving them free stuff, but the shops wasn't getting anything.
Right. Yep.
That irritates me, and it's like Instagrammers and YouTubers. Why should they get given stuff, and us shops get nothing? When we're the ones that have to sell the product, we have to buy the product, promote the product, don't we? Sell the product. And if anything goes wrong, we have to do the return and stuff on the product and sort the new product out for them or a refund. We have to do all that. As an Instagram or a YouTube, what do you do? If I gave you my botanicals free of charge, you'd say they're the next best thing since sliced bread, because you'd want me to give you more for nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So this is my thing when it comes to things like that. Is why do companies do it? I don't understand. I understand from an advertising point of view. I had a customer in the shop who's a quite well-known Instagrammer about 5 months ago, and he was like, "Oh, I don't need to buy any of that because that company sends it out to me."
Right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, because once you get sponsored by a company, they just send it all out.
Yeah.
And it irritates me, mate, because
I can understand that.
For instance, I got a tank here. I hopefully sold it at the weekend. But anyway, it's one of my custom tanks. The twin star light that's on it, I bought it. The CO2 arc regulator on it, I bought it. The fire extinguisher, I bought it. Yeah, everything on that tank, I've bought. I've not been given nothing for my tanks. This new one behind me, I'm going to be honest. I've asked one company if they would like to sort of sponsor my build and that lot, and they've told me to get in contact with them. They attempted to break the rules, and this is from the owner of the company. This is for lighting for it, and I only messaged them as a laugh just to see what would happen, because I know other people that's messaged companies, friends of mine, as well as customers of mine that have messaged companies that I stock and supply or did stock and supply. They've given them stuff, but
Hmm.
yet I've asked for stuff. Oh no, we had George Farmer out a couple of years back.
Yep.
I think that tank in total probably cost the best part of £3,000 to do that tank.
Wow.
That's with paying George, the 5
Yep.
bags of tropical soil, all of the wood, the rock, the plants, light £800 light above it. I had the CO2 art regulator on it, a Wazi Barmaster 600 and 350 on that tank. I paid for everything.
Yep.
Paid for everything out of my own pocket, mate.
Wow.
I got. This is what made me laugh. I got a 10% discount from Awazi for the filters, right? But my mate that was also scaping on the day, Piotr, you know Piotr quite well, don't you?
Yeah,
He messaged Awazi. They gave him a free Biomaster 350.
it didn't give me one.
It annoys me, mate. I'm buying their products, I'm promoting their products, I'm
Yeah,
selling their products, and they could only give me 10% off.
I don't understand it. I
Mm.
really don't.
I,
It's something. I
I,
mean, obviously, you know where asset on the not. You know, I'm right in between the Instagrammer because
yeah,
I've been there, I've done that, but
yeah,
also I'm on the other side with access to products to give to the Instagrammers at the same
yeah,
time. Now, for years, I've thrown products at people from different brands, not just CO2 Arbor, and
yeah.
some people, the ones that sign up for the affiliate programs, when they're incentivized to sell it and they get 10% kickback for the link or the code, that has a benefit. But otherwise, when you're just giving a free product, it's only marketing and that's all it is.
See, my thing is with it, right? Why give them a free product? Why not say to them, right? This is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why not give them a discount for advertising the product and make them go to their locals, ask them where their local shop is, that is their local stockist, buy it from the local shop.
Mm.
Yes.
Makes
You're
sense. Yep.
supporting, you're supporting the local business. You're not taking
Yep.
profit away from the shop, because
Yep.
then you can turn around and give that shop the profit margin difference or whatever from the product they're buying or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I personally think that is the way round to do it. I don't think the way round is there's too many people now on Instagram and YouTube who's getting free stuff. And Piotr, for instance, he sold loads of the gear he got given.
Yeah.
Wow.
He doesn't have tanks anymore, does he?
I
Or
don't know,
he
mate,
went to
because
salt water and then he just.
he moved, didn't he? He's moved back over to Poland, didn't he? So,
Right.
but yeah, it's a difficult one. It really is a difficult one, because like the trade shows, they do benefit people. But if
Yep.
they were, me and Kaz have said this many a time, if they're going to do a show that allows the public in to look at it, then they need to take all the trade price lists away and that lot, and make
Yeah.
it a completely separate event.
Yeah, Phil. Yeah,
That I agree with.
we have hobby shows here, and there's stores and stuff that bring their stuff and suppliers that bring their stuff, but it is based for hobbyists to be involved in what's going on and who's got what and learning new things, as opposed to a bunch of trade businesses here to sell to shops and showing products off and that kind of stuff. So it's different, not
There's a
blended.
few people done that over here, aren't there? But with marine, like Kraken Corals, Dominic at Kraken Corals,
Mm-hmm.
brilliant marine shop. Highly recommend him. Quality of stock you'll find from him is bar none, isn't it? But he does his frag meat swaps, doesn't he? His frag swap meats at his shop.
That's right.
So he gets people come to the shop and they do frag swaps. And I think it's brilliant because it gets all the hobbyists together. They can all have a chinwag. It's not about making the most money in his shop. You know, I've often thought about doing like an aquascaping event once a month in the evenings at the shops. Stay open late, do discounts, do teas, because I do teas and coffees for people anyway. You know,
Yeah.
I've got a Tassimo machine in the shop for people. It's only just come back out again, obviously because of COVID. So, but that's something that we've always done. But I do think that stuff is given away far too easily to people, and people take advantage of it. just in the last 6 months, I've had about 4 people coming in that's not had to buy product from us because they get given it by the company. So that's took sales away from me, and I've had enough of people taking customers away from me as it is already.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Yeah, we don't really have so much of that issue down here with the influencers sort of stuff and giving stuff away. I can absolutely understand how that would be a significant issue in population base that you're working on.
But would that annoy you if that was the case, like we're
Oh,
having
absolutely.
to start with?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
if the companies said to them, right, we'll do you a 30% discount, say, yeah, if you wanted to be generous over it. If they were that serious about it, they'd buy the product with a discount. Yeah, we'll give you a 30% discount. We'll contact your local stockist. You go there, we'll notify them, so you get your discount. Buy it from your local shop. That way, you're supporting the local shop. The local shop's getting, yes, they might not be getting as much profit margin or whatever, but they're getting something.
Yeah,
They're forming
They're
a
getting that
connection.
sale. Yeah, and it puts people in the shop. And this is the thing: online is pulling people away from shops. Online is going to kill this industry. I honestly believe that because it's getting too easy now. And again, back to another company we're not going to name, but one of the biggest online sellers in the UK. They buy in such bulk that they can do it cheaper than anyone. How's that fair?
Yeah, totally. Yep.
It's not fair. Like,
Yeah.
here's one for you. I've even had this conversation with NT Labs. I'll quite happily say it. NT Labs test kits, the big ones. Where's Carol? There.
Yeah.
The big kits. You can buy them on Amazon £1 cheaper than I can buy them from a wholesaler.
Yeah. Yep. I've encountered similar. I've encountered similar things, and it makes you wonder what's the point of having these particular things, because there's a lot of people that are price driven. There's some that aren't. Will come in and say, well, here it is. That's what I'm talking about. Get the advice. But there is definitely price driven people that buy, that way. And again, Amazon's not too big here, so we're kind of again lucky in a sense. Yeah.
So Cam, you've got. Sorry, Cam. You've got the website and the shop.
Yes. Yeah.
And Rocky, you up until recently you had the same. Do you guys have the same prices on your website as you do on your shelves?
Yep.
I did do, yeah.
Yeah. So
apart from obviously,
if you guys can do it,
postage.
Yeah, that's a given. But if you guys can do it, and still sell in both the shop and online, why can't there be a regulation put in place by the manufacturers to maintain a minimum RRP?
This is exactly what we want, mate, but they just don't listen to you, do they? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Everything in my shop is sold at RRP price.
Yeah.
If it's like, I'm not being funny, right? Say it's I don't know, £7.89. We might just do it at 99p. You know what I mean? £7.99 or whatever.
Yep.
To the nearest thing. Right, it just saves the odd 8 ball ache of change and stuff, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? But other than that, everything is set at RRP in my shop, mate. And honestly, it's a difficult one, because when someone comes in your shop and it's for 20 quid on your shelf, but you can buy it for 12 quid online, how's that fair on a shop? But yet, to open an account with these people, you have to show your bricks and mortar shop, pet shop license. But yeah, this metal warehouse up the road can do what they like. Tom, Dick and Harry can do what they like with selling, undercutting everyone. Because technically, by law, I could buy a product for £10 and sell it for £10.50 if I want to, or I could sell it for £9.50 if I want to. There's no regulation on it, is there? Because they're not allowed to price fix. But I think they should put a governing place where if you're selling online, you have to sell minimum RRP price. So if that RRP price is 20 quid, that is the lowest you can go.
Yeah.
Who do you go to?
Brian is a regular watcher of ours. He's just made a really good point. You need to support both online and in stores, and I personally think there's a place for both. Like you can jump online into a website and get everything you need in one spot. Great, cool. You can come into the shop and you can talk to somebody and get the nuts and bolts of the information that you want. I think both are valid valid terms and work, and you walking into a shop, or people walk into our shop, and we get to talk to people about fish for half an hour as long as they want to stay in the shop, and that's fantastic. Like, you enjoy every minute of that compared to just a transaction number that comes through, you put it in a packet and you send it away. So it goes both ways.
Well, here's a quick one for you. One of my Craig Carson of Blue Shark Trading, HM Products, and Fang, right? He said to me when he used to own someone he knows in a shop, I can't remember which shop it was. Customer came in, wanted a external canister filter, right? And he sent it online. He said, "Could you match your online price?" He was like, "Nah, sorry, I can't do that." So anyway, they were back and forward about it. Anyway, mate, he said, "I'll tell you what, I'll do it online price for you." So he rings it up in the till, right? Mate, he pays the online price for it. So the shopkeeper, this is a true story, gets hold of the filter, puts it behind the counter. He said, "Excuse me, what do you think you're doing? I've just paid for it." He said, "Yeah, you paid online price, so you're going to get online service. If you'd like the customer service that you're going to get in a shop, you pay the difference, you can take it with you today. If not, you get online service, so you receive it in 3 to 4 working days." And I think that's fair, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. You're getting an in-person experience, a hands-on. You walk in, you walk out with the product. Why shouldn't that be a bit more?
It's the knowledge of the person when you're talking to the people. You know, when you're buying online, what knowledge are you getting? What recommendation are you getting online? You're not talking to someone, are you, and finding out what you actually need. You're buying something. All you know could be the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, unless you've got a really good customer service set up there, a live chat.
Treatments is a fine one. Yeah. White spot. You know, velvet. Very similar sort of thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So you could buy one treatment, but it's not going to work because it's in fact the other one you need. You've wasted your money buying the wrong one. But if you walked in your shop, you'd get that right recommendation and buy what you need right in the first place.
Hey, I've just looked at the time, and I was meant to open my shop 20 minutes ago. Oops.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just want to quickly run through the last lot of quick questions that we've got for this.
That's cool, mate.
Just the way that we close out the thing, we just do a really quick set of 6, just nice and short and sweet. So if you're tossing a coin, are you going to call heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads. You're a tea or a coffee drinker?
Black coffee.
Black coffee. If animals could talk, which one do you think would be the filthiest and why?
Ooh. It's probably got to be a monkey, isn't it? Because they're the closest to the human race.
Are you a nano aquarium keeper or a monster aquarium? What would be your preference?
See, now I would normally say nano tanks. I normally have smaller tanks, but as you know, I'm going big.
Yep. Are we alone in the universe?
100% not.
Cool. Yep. And what is your unicorn fish?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
It certainly is, and it's a good one to finish on.
See, I've always wanted personally to keep zebraplex.
Yep.
I've never had zebraplex myself. That's something. Yeah, he's got one there. That's something that I would like to have. But I don't know. I love rarer species of tetras and that lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's my. I love smaller shoaling fish, large shoals of fish.
Mm-hmm.
So jelly bean tetra. I don't know. It's a hard one. There's so many.
It is a hard one, especially to put on the spot with.
I love plex. I love cories. I love tetras.
Yeah.
You know, it's so many to choose from. What do you go with? Whiptails. I love whiptails. One of my favourite.
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
That's fair enough. That's okay. Well, again, I would like to say thank you very much for joining us and giving up your time in the evening. It is really appreciated. And I'm sure if I had another hour and a half, 2 hours, we'd still be chatting away. But just 20 minutes after I should be opening. So yeah.
That's fine, mate. You go open your shop.
Cool. Thank you very much for your time, and everybody who's watched today. Thanks very much. We really appreciate it.
Again soon. Okay.
Cool.
Cheers,
everyone, team.
Have a good evening.
Take care, Cam.
Catch you later. Thank you.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.